We talk a lot on Dateable about being present in dating, but let's be real. That's hard when your phone is basically a third wheel. Enter Brick. Brick is a simple device that helps you put your phone down when you actually want to be in the moment. You just pair your phone to Brick and it locks you out of distracting apps, and suddenly you're not doom scrolling while your date is telling a story about their childhood dog. Whether you're on a first date, having a real conversation, or just trying to stop checking your phone every 30 seconds, Brick creates boundaries with your tech without asking you to delete everything or go full digital detox. Dating is about connection, not notifications. So if you want to be more present and honestly more attractive, check out Brick. Go to getbrick.app/dateable to get 10% off. That's getbrick.app/DATEABLE to get 10% off. We are huge proponents of therapy, but sometimes it isn't the whole answer. Talkiatry gives you access to real psychiatric care with licensed clinicians who can diagnose and prescribe medication if it's right for you. Talkiatry is a 100% online psychiatry practice that provides comprehensive evaluations, diagnosis, and ongoing medication management for conditions like ADHD, anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, OCD, PTSD, insomnia, and more. Unlike therapy-only apps, Talkiatry is psychiatry. That means you're seeing a medical provider who can diagnose mental health conditions and prescribe medications when it's appropriate. All their 600 plus clinicians are in network with major insurers, so you can use your existing insurance instead of paying monthly subscriptions or out-of-network fees. Head to talkiatry.com/dateable and complete the short assessment to get matched with an in-network psychiatrist in just a few minutes. That's talkiatry.com/DATEABLE to get matched in minutes. Hi, I'm Yue Shu.
And I'm Julie Kraftchick.
We're active daters turned dating insiders.
Here to dive into everything modern dating and relationships.
Welcome to Dateable. Hello, friends.
Welcome back to another episode of Dateable.
We continue the tradition today with me interviewing Julie in our special duo episode. And Julie, are you ready for some hard-hitting questions?
I'm scared. No, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Well, we'll start with the easy stuff because, everybody will want to know about married life. That was the biggest milestone that happened this year. But thinking back, you've been married for a few months now. What has been the most surprising thing about marriage that you didn't anticipate before getting married?
So I would say, all in all, it doesn't feel that different. Like day to day, there's no real difference. I think the biggest thing is like this integration into family feels different. So that I wouldn't say it's a total surprise, but just as a difference. Actually, the thing that is surprising is kind of weird that I feel like I was in a little bit of a depression post wedding. And it's not because my marriage, I'll put that out there. I still feel very solid in my partnership. I made the right choice. I'm just kidding. We've been together long enough that it wasn't like something all of a sudden happened after wedding. But I've been reading up a lot about this. This is like actually pretty common that you have this because in a way, the wedding was something that I was like working towards. It was like this project for the last year. And I think also the day is so overwhelming that you have or the whole weekend, it's like you have all your friends and family and all these people that flew out to be with you and then they just kind of leave and it's over. And I think it's like the build up to build down. And then for me too, it's like I've been working on this and I think it's let some other parts of life maybe get covered up. And when it's gone, you have a lot of time back, which is really great in some ways. And then in other ways, you're like, oh, I need to actually face this other stuff.
Right. Knowing that this has happened, do you think that this is something that can be alleviated if you knew about this more? Or is it just like, it's just going to happen no matter what you do to try to prevent it?
I do think knowing about it more. And it's like almost embarrassing to talk about too. Because you're like, why should anyone feel bad for me? It's like, I just got married to love my life. It's like almost like, who are you to be like, now I feel sad about this? Like when there's nothing wrong, everything in theory is actually really great. It's a weird emotion to battle. So I do think more like actual public knowledge. And I've now like fallen into like the TikTok,
Black hole.
black hole where you start watching one video on the topic and they keep serving them to you. You're in the algorithm now. So I feel like it is pretty common, but I didn't know about this until I was in it. So I think like with postpartum, for instance, which I most likely will have because of just the way my brain operates, I can see it happening now. But I think it's like maybe I'm like mentally prepared a little for it. And I guess it's kind of similar in a way to postpartum. It's like after this big event happens, this milestone, this great joy, and then you're like feeling a little empty when you're like, I shouldn't,
Right. But also with postpartum, because I do see the parallels, but the only difference is postpartum has this hormonal aspect to it.
Yeah.
It's chemical, but with postpartum wedding, it isn't hormonal. Or maybe there is. Maybe there should be more research.
Maybe,
yeah. Probably like with all the adrenaline pumping and then like adrenaline dissipating and the cortisol. I'm sure there's something happening here. But now knowing what you know, and if someone's going through something similar, like they're about to go through the whole wedding and honeymoon period, what would you tell them to help them kind of alleviate some of this postpartum wedding?
So this is the crazy part. And I feel like this happens all the time in relationships. After I shared I was going with it, I had multiple friends that were like, oh yeah, I dealt with that too.
Yeah, me too. And
I'm like, because why didn't you tell me before? Yes, I think that's a big piece of it. And you don't want to like kill someone's vibe too. When they're like excited about a wedding and then you're like, ooh, have fun after.
By the way, you'll be crying right after.
It's actually kind of similar to our book too. Remember we had a few people be like, you might be depressed after. And that's like normal. And I think it's just like this big buildup. So I don't know if I would like tell someone like, hey, you might go into a depression after your wedding. But I think I would maybe like share my experience and just be like, hey, the letdown, there might be a little letdown, and I think like I'm still unsure about the honeymoon. Like I liked that we gave it some time to like recover and then it was something to look forward to again. But then in a weird way, it almost like didn't feel like a honeymoon. It just felt like a trip because it was like spread out. And then it was like a second letdown. And then I'm like, oh, okay, now what? I almost wonder if it would have been better to just like do it all together.
Do it all at once.
It felt overwhelming though at the time.
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
Yeah.
So basically like people will have to go through this. Like you can only do so much.
But I'm also wondering, like, everyone's wired differently.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like diagnosed with depression necessarily, but I do have depressive episodes every once in a while. So I do think like for me, it makes sense maybe. And I think it might've been situational too. Again, like if other parts of my life, like I knew, like I think like our like career wise, like I took this risk to leave and do Dateable full time. And that's been really great in many ways. But there's some parts I'm still kind of trying to navigate fully to like make it sustainable and like make it a career that can withstand. And there's some things that are up in the air right now. And I think like if maybe I was at like a stable job that I had been in for years and everything was like fine that way and I could kind of have that landing pad, maybe I wouldn't have experienced this as much.
Yes. But I will tell you, I've never seen any more depressed than a coworker coming back to their office job after their honeymoon.
There's no way around it. So maybe it's just something everyone goes through it again. No one talks about.
Like, I don't know if that's any better going back to your 9 to 5 after and dealing with the same manager and the same team and the same client.
Okay. I can't win.
Can't win. There's no win. There's no win. But at least you are aware of it and then you're openly talking about it, which I'm sure people appreciate. I mean, your wedding was so much fun. It really was. I love being part of it.
It was.
Oh, you know what? I was actually watching this trailer for the new A24 movie where the couple's planning a wedding.
Oh, I saw this. The drama, right? The one with Zendaya and Robert Pattinson. I saw that also.
I cannot wait to see this because I was screaming because for anybody who hasn't seen the trailer, it's basically about this couple who's planning their wedding. And right before the wedding, Robert Pattinson's character learns like some crazy secret about Zendaya's character that she hasn't shared until now.
Yeah, like the friends are going around like it's like the worst thing you've ever done, and they're all shocked by what she says. So yeah, I'm glad that didn't happen. I can't even imagine if that happened right before your wedding.
I mean, seriously, like what could be so bad that everyone's in this trailer is like, this is so bad. Like, this is the worst secret
You like
to
murder
be
someone?
keeping.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
dying to know what this secret is. I'm like dying to know, but it is such a good cast. I cannot wait till this comes out. And you know, I'm love A24. I'm obsessed with their movies. So I'm
Yeah.
definitely going to see it. I kind of wish you lived close by because I feel like it's such a good group outing, but we got to do a debrief.
We do.
And it comes out April 3rd. So it's on my calendar. I'm definitely seeing this one.
Same. We got to watch it the day it comes out.
Okay. That was a tangent.
Okay. Anyway, so back to you. Now that you have so many friends who have been married for years, and I'm sure they've all talked to you about marriage. What is something that people have told you about marriage that has proven to be wrong or not true in your case? Anything.
Well, I still feel like a marriage noob, so I'm not sure
Yeah,
if I'm
true.
fully there yet. But I think, well, I would say, you know, like one of my friends keeps being like, "It feels different, right? It feels different." I'm like, yes and no. Like I see what she's saying in the sense of it feels like you're more of a unit. And I do agree on that. So I don't want to say that's like completely false, but I wonder if, and I've had other friends that say that you feel it a little more when you have kids. So I
Yeah.
think that's like maybe like that first year is the most difficult. I'm not sure if I fully agree with that because I think everyone's different, right? Like if you're moving in for the first time together and you know your life is doing a complete 180 and all of a sudden it feels so different, then I could see that being very jarring and difficult. But
Yes.
if you've been with someone for a while, you've lived together, like right this minute, none of it feels that different. So I'm not sure if
Yeah.
like this year, the first year is like set up that way, but it also doesn't feel that different in the sense of like, oh my God, now we're a married couple. Like I don't feel that either.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. You know, I love this question. It's like taking us back a few years. Okay. So, like, take us back 10 years to the Julie 10 years ago when before you met your partner, before marriage was even on the horizon. Who was she? Describe her to us.
Oh my God, when we were starting this podcast, 10
Uh huh.
years. Well, I would say, okay, on a positive note, I think the Julie would be so happy with who she ended up with. I think
Yeah.
that is something that I look back on because I think back then I was confused.
Hmm.
I mean, I think I wasn't chasing the right things. Like I
Yeah.
wanted someone that I felt alive around and the chemistry was crazy and I had all that, but the stability wasn't there. And I think
Hmm.
that stuff wasn't even things that were like top of mind for me. It felt boring. And I've learned over those 10 years that, you know, it doesn't need to be boring to have stability. In fact, having that security and safety in a relationship allows for the deeper parts to happen. I think
Hmm.
actually 10 years ago, I don't think I even really realized what a real relationship entailed. Even though
Mm.
I had been in quote unquote relationships before, they were not like integrated partnerships. Or maybe that was it. I was in relationships, but not
Yeah.
partnerships.
Yes. So, what is the difference?
It's like, and this is where it's hard because it's like my definition for me might not be someone else's. Like, you don't have to spend every waking second with your partner. That doesn't mean that you're like fully integrated. But for me, I do spend a lot of time with my partner because he's my favorite person. And that doesn't
Hmm.
mean like I won't spend time with other people. I absolutely do. But if there is an option to also include my partner and their significant others and families, I like that because I'm like, I want to be with this person and have them do life with me and like be exposed to like things that they're interested in and things that I might not have even known about and live together. I think that's the thing.
Hmm.
It's like the living together. And again, that doesn't mean that you're like necessarily attached at the hip, but like I'm sharing. Like, I don't know. I saw this TikTok that's like couples that have been together for like 20, 30 years. Like, what the F are you talking about? Like people that you're like
Yeah.
spending every day together. Like, what do you talk about? Like, don't you run out of things to talk about? And we don't run out of things to
Hmm.
talk about. And you kind of like share just inner thoughts that are happening that are random, that like don't even really have like a reason for being
Yeah.
shared, but you do. And yeah, like I think there's this like feeling like you have this like person that's always there that I don't feel like
Yeah.
you have with, I feel like I haven't had in other relationships. Like I felt like they could leave all the time. Like even friends, it's like everyone's kind of doing their like siloed path. You're not like building something together.
Mhm. Well, even with that comment about what do couples that have been together for a long time, what do they talk about? You can apply the same question to siblings or to your family. Like, what did you and your brother talk about? You've known each other a lifetime, but you just talk. Like there
Yeah, but you don't see each other all the time. I think that's the difference.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. But I guess where I'm going with this is, do you feel like you're going towards the path of seeing your partner as family?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, I
And
definitely
what is that feeling?
I mean, this is the part that again is like a little hard to wrap my head around because it's like that is the difference when you get married. Is like now this becomes your family.
Yeah.
And I think, yes, when you have like actual children, it makes it like even more obvious, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you're not family. Like if you don't decide to be child free or you can't have children, it doesn't make you less of a family. So there is like this like wrapping around. I think actually, which is why I decided to change my name, which I haven't legally done yet, but I'm on it.
But you're going to do it.
And I actually thought about this a lot because initially I didn't want to change my name. Like that was like I
Mhm.
told my partner like early on when we were together, I will not change my name in
Mhm.
marriage because Julie Chick, that's who I've been for
Yeah.
40 years of my life and that's my identity. And then like as we were getting closer, I'm like there is something about building this new identity as a
Mhm.
unit and I like that idea of being a unit. Should they
Yes.
take your name? Why does it always have to be the woman? That's another whole debate
Mhm.
for another day. But
Sure. Yep.
looking at what we're working with in current society, I was like, okay, is there a way that I can also take his name? And I ended up doing legally a hyphenated name, which is a freaking mouthful. And I probably will
It's
never
long.
call myself that. But at what
Yeah.
I'm thinking, this is my thought process, is like professionally, I stay Julie Chick. So I've built a
Mhm.
brand, I've built myself. Feels weird to me to like leave, especially in like a public forum that we do. It feels weird to just be like, oh, now I'm a new
By
person,
the way, yep. Uh-huh.
People are like, who is this new host? And then personally, I become embedded in his name. That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. And a lot of my friends do this even not legally changing their name. So I could have
Mhm.
done that. It could have been an easier path maybe, but there was something that felt like more official to me that I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah. And then your kids will take on the hyphenated last name or just
No,
his last name?
just his.
Just his. Okay, got
Yes.
it. So here's the question. You've gone through the legal process of getting married, and now you're going through the legal process of changing your last name, and you've gone through the wedding and the honeymoon, and you feel like you are now more of a unit, a solid unit, and going towards this feeling of like being one family. Do you think a couple can achieve the same sort of feeling without going through any of these steps?
In theory, yes.
In theory,
In theory,
right?
yes. But I do think internally, well, let me back up. If both of you truly do not want marriage, then yes, I think internally you can feel that connection.
Okay.
Externally, I do think people take you more seriously when you're
Mhm.
married. I think they think like this person isn't going anywhere, which isn't always true. You could clearly get
True. Yep.
divorced, but
Yeah.
there's more hurdles to breaking up than if you, weren't legally bound to each other. Even though, like, again, this legally bound piece, I know I am legally bound, but it hasn't like fully set in either. Like, it's not something you're
Yeah.
thinking about as much. But yes, hypothetically, when you're married, it's easy, it's harder to dissolve something. So, therefore,
Yes.
I do think that people view it more seriously, but it's not only that. I think it's just like this big, statement, declaration everywhere. You're bringing the families together. It feels more official. So, I
Yes.
think there's that piece of it. And without that, and I'm wondering like would you actually get that same feeling if you just eloped? I don't know, maybe like people would
I
take it
don't,
as
yeah.
seriously, or maybe they wouldn't. I don't know fully,
Or
but
not legally marry, but still
yeah.
have a wedding, which a lot
Well,
of our friends have done.
some people have
So,
done that too. And I think that one's tricky because a lot of times people don't even know that you're not legally married.
right, because it doesn't matter to other people,
No.
like if you're legally or not legally married.
Yeah,
But I feel like there's still, it still feels different to me
it
though.
does. It does. And shouldn't necessarily, like if you're like, we have been life partners for 10 years, but there is something,
Yeah,
again, society, culture views it differently.
yeah,
And I guess you have
yeah.
to decide
Well,
how much you give a shit, basically.
exactly. Yeah. And I guess you can never control someone's true commitment into a relationship
You
just because
can't.
you're legally bound. You can only control your own commitment, right?
Sadly, yes. I want to dive into this even more, but before we do, let's take a quick break to hear from our partners. I am so excited to tell you about our sponsor, Avocado Green Mattress. Their certified organic mattresses, pillows, and solid wood furniture are made without harmful chemicals and with thoughtfully chosen materials that are designed to support healthier living and more restorative sleep. I don't know about you, but my sleep matters. My mornings, my mood, my energy, and I love that Avocado makes that upgrade tangible with real materials designed for comfort, breathability, and a healthier home. And that's because Avocado's mattresses allow your body to properly recover, reset, and wake up ready to take on the day. The best part is that you can get a mattress with absolutely no regrets. Avocado offers sleep trials of up to 1 year to ensure you're getting the best mattress for you. When it comes to what you sleep on, real wins. Real is better. Go to avocadogreenmattress.com/dateable to check out their mattress and bedding sale. That's avocadogreenmattress.com/dateable, avocadogreenmattress.com/dateable.
Getting dressed should not be this hard, but somehow it is. And that's why I love Armoire, because Armoire makes getting dressed easy with a clothing rental membership that helps you build the perfect wardrobe with high quality, unique brands picked just for you. You just take a quick 5-minute style quiz, choose from your personalized closet, and your pieces show up at your door in as little as 2 days. I've been using Armoire a lot when I travel, and I'm heading to the East Coast soon. And instead of buying coats and sweaters I'll never wear in LA, I rented the cutest ones through Armoire. And the hot tip is I get them delivered to the hotel, so I don't have to carry them in my luggage. It's also my favorite way to test new styles without committing or cluttering my closet. I love that I always have something new to wear without the decision fatigue and without feeling guilty about wearing something once. Right now, Dateable listeners can give Armoire a try and get up to 60% off their first month. That's up to $150 off. Just visit armoire.style/dateable. That's ARMOIRE.style/DATEABLE to get up to 60% off your first month and never worry about what to wear again. Try Armoire today. Imagine having a dating coach in your pocket 24/7 and a daily guide so you're never lost. That's exactly why we partnered with Studio.com to create the Finding Your Person coaching app. Now, we were blown away by their AI technology that creates a completely customizable experience based on exactly what you're going through. After 10 years of doing Dateable, we kept hearing the same thing. I wish I had support in the moment when I'm actually dealing with this stuff. So we finally created it. And honestly, we've been so excited about this launch because it brings together the tech we've always wanted, everything we've learned from talking to thousands of daters, and the core content from our most popular course, Finding Your Person, the one that sells out every single time. And inside the app, you'll follow a personalized journey designed to help you get clear on what you want, build real confidence, and break the patterns that keep tripping you up. You'll get quick audio lessons, guided reflections, and simple real-world challenges that make dating feel intentional without the pressure. And there's even AI-powered audio journaling for real-time feedback and encouragement, a coach you can talk to, and insights to identify patterns and growth. Give it a few months and you'll see the difference. Less spiraling, more clarity, and a dating approach that actually feels hopeful and grounded. It's like having a wise, honest coach at your disposal. If you're ready for support that actually sticks and transforms, go to studio.com/dateable and start your journey with the Finding Your Person coaching app today. So looking back, I'm going back to the Julie 10 years ago when we first met and started this podcast. There's this trend on social media where it's like the advice I would tell you if I didn't care about hurting your feelings. Okay.
Mm.
What would you tell yourself from
Oh my
10 years
God.
ago if you didn't care about hurting her feelings?
There's so much. I like this one.
Spill.
I think I'd
Let
just be
it all
like,
out.
what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are I would be like, I would flat out say, be like, you're staying with these people that clearly aren't giving you what you really want and treating you
Mhm.
well because of your own insecurities. That's what I would say.
Mhm.
There
Mhm.
was no need for me to stay in this situationship for almost 2.5 years. That
Yeah.
when the guy was like, I do not want a relationship, and literally made out with a girl in front of my face. Like, there was
Yeah.
no need for that. My other relationship that I was truly in love, like, should not have lasted as long as it did either, but I will give myself at least some grace there that there was like
Mhm.
mutual feelings involved. Like, there were some other situations and I'm like, what the fuck was I doing? Like, truly, what was I doing? Like, was your self-esteem that low that you stayed in this? But look, everyone, you got to go through it. You have to
You
do
gotta go
it to
through it.
realize like you'll never do this again. And this person still messages me on Instagram and I'm just like, why?
Oh my gosh.
we weren't
Oh my
we're
god.
not friends anymore. We didn't leave. You weren't nice to me for years. Like, why are you like
Get out of my
congratulating
life.
me on my wedding? Like, it's not like anything bad, but it's like, why?
Why?
Unnecessary.
And then if we were to put you in a time machine and put you into the future 10 years from now, okay? And that Julie came back to meet you again right now. What would she be most proud of the
Ooh,
Julie
most
today?
proud of. I thought you were going to ask for advice, and I was going to say, like, stop worrying, like, things are going to work out.
Well, you already know that.
Or what she'd be proud of. I think the commitment to growth and self-development. Because, yeah, like you were saying last episode, relationships shine a mirror to you. And I think even
Mhm.
before getting into this relationship, I did a lot of self work to get to a place that I felt happy and
Yes.
good and okay if I had a partner or not. Truly, I was like, I'm in a good place. So I think that, and then, the relationships definitely shine a light into some areas that you're like, oh, not fully healed here, or yeah, I could handle this different, or I'm getting a little triggered. And I think the commitment to stay with it, because the reality is not everyone does have that commitment. A lot of
Mhm.
people bounce when things get hard or confront parts of themselves that they'd rather not see. That's why sometimes people do stay like single by choice indefinitely, or maybe they don't think it's choice, but it's easier. So it becomes the default. Or you just like don't talk in a relationship and just like,
Yes.
ignore the stuff. And I think the fact that like I'm in a place that I can feel okay, like feel comfortable saying what's on my mind and what I'm experiencing and working through whatever that comes, the fallout of that. Is the reality is anytime you tell any partner something that maybe is a little uncomfortable or a little
Mhm.
like controversial between the two of you, there's going to be discussions that need to happen after, and you almost like need
Mhm.
to be prepared for that. But I think I've gotten to a point where I'm like, I want those conversations opposed to like being fearful of them.
Yes. And we followed you along for the journey from dating to getting engaged. And I know there was this pace discrepancy that
Yeah.
happened during that time. Now that you're now married, do you think it was necessary? Like, do you think that was the time needed for you,
Hmm.
for both of you to commit to a marriage?
Yes, I do. I
Okay. And
think
why is that?
I think having that pace discrepancy gave us something that was like we both had needs and we
Mhm.
had to figure out a way to make them work together. And that's the
Mhm.
reality of a relationship there. So I think without that conflict, I'm not sure because we don't really have like that much conflict on a day to day. It was
Yeah.
more of like a need disparity. And
Yeah.
having that happen gave us tools to work through things. And that could happen again. And I think our relationship got a lot stronger from it. So I'm glad that we had that. I also think it gave us back to like the integration of family. We were talking about this like at our wedding, there were very few people that we met for the first time. Like there was
Mhm.
like a handful, if even. And that was
Yes.
just honestly due to like logistics of where people lived. And
Yes.
I think if we got married earlier, I don't think the bond would have been there as much with our families, because
Hmm.
the time is also, when you think about it, like, we live across the country from our families. So what are we seeing them? A couple, 2 to 3 times a year. That's not
Right.
that much time to really get to know someone if you get married 2 years into knowing each other, right? You've met now
So
6
true.
times. Like, that's kind of crazy when you think about it. So I think
Yeah.
having like so we had like a solid 4 years when we got married. So our anniversary was
Hmm.
in April. We got married in August. So it was like 4 and a little change. So I think
Yeah.
having that time collectively was a good amount. But it was important to me, though, because I was the faster
Hmm.
paced partner. And I'm glad, though, that I still stated my needs, because I still
Yes.
stick with this, and I, like, see other people going through this, that I know if I didn't state what I wanted, I would have grown resentful just waiting and waiting,
Absolutely.
and felt very out of control in a situation where you could argue you both should be fully, like, in control together as a partnership, figuring out the rest of your life. It's really fucked up, actually, that we, like, as women, have to wait for men to propose. Like, what
I
other part of
know.
life nowadays do women sit and wait? It's
I know.
ridiculous. But whatever. That's another whole tangent for another day. But I think, like, being able to say, like, "Hey, like, I want a relationship that ends up in marriage. You're the person I wanna be married to. I know this." And not being afraid to say it is huge for me. Like, I think it's
Hmm.
easier to just not bring this up, especially if your partner isn't, like, ready to do it tomorrow either. Like, I think having this conversation, and then him being able to say, like, "I want all that too, but I need a little more time because of X, Y, and
Yes.
Z." I think that was, like, a good way for us both to be able to voice what it was. And yes, in theory, I might have wanted to get married a year earlier. In theory, maybe he
Hmm.
wanted to get married a year later, but we got to a place that was like a middle.
I'm so glad that you are emphasizing the fact that you never let go of your needs or try to shrink yourself, because I think the lesson here, and I hope sometimes people listen to our episodes and they go, I learned this. And we're like, no, that's not the learning. I hope people aren't going, oh, 4 years is a good amount of time before
No, it can
getting
be
married.
any
No,
time. Yeah.
that's not the point. The point is you have to state your needs. Both people have to state your needs, and you take the time to work on really respecting both people's needs and finding a way to navigate while holding both of them true. And I think for you two, it happened to take 4 years to get there. And that's the time it needed for both of you to get there. But we're not saying like the golden rule is you have to wait a certain amount of time. What I do find problematic in a lot of the advice we see out there is that we're always telling women, like, don't get ahead of yourself. Like, don't be the one trying to ask for a commitment or trying to get to that proposal. Well, biologically, we're wired that way. We are wired to want commitment. Are
Yeah.
wired to want stability and safety much quicker than men. So in hetero relationships, you know what? This is what's going to happen. The pace discrepancy is fucking going to happen.
This was
And
the
let's lean into
other
it.
thing too, when I finally, like, told friends, they're like, "Oh yeah, that happened to me." And then I'm
Yeah.
like, no one says it at the moment. But yeah, I think most people eventually, like, look, most people, it eventually works out when this
Mhm.
happens, at least the sample size I've seen. Or if it truly doesn't, then you need to know that
You
information.
need to know. You
Yeah.
need to know.
I
Absolutely.
I think too, like, something that was really confronting for me, that was really good that came out of this is, I think a lot of people can relate to this, because this was in dating too, and it goes back to our validation trap
Mm.
episode that I've come a long way, but it still creeps in. It's I took a lot of, like, the not ready as, like, a reflection of, like, feelings
Yeah.
for me and myself.
Yep.
Is there something wrong with me? And then, like, as we were able to work it out, something that we never think about is, like, two people are coming from very different thought
Yes.
patterns. Just, I think, like, even taking relationships out, the way my partner and I process things are so different. He's
So
very,
different.
like, logical, methodical, like, thinking
Mhm.
about every scenario. And this isn't even a relationship, it's just work and life and everything. And I'm like,
Mhm.
let's do it. Let's make it happen, But I think like we're very different. And then also like you add in, family histories and relationship
Yes.
experience. Like we're all coming from such different blueprints. So it's not always just like so black and white, like, oh, this person just, like you see on these like Reddit. Have you ever seen like this like waiting to wed Reddit? It's like all these
No,
people
stop.
that will be like, I've been
Stop.
with my partner 5 years and they still
Oh
haven't
my
proposed.
gosh.
I'm waiting and waiting. And I'm also like thinking like, why don't you just talk to your partner? Like,
Yes. Oh
why
my
put
god.
this on Reddit? And then also you get all the people in the comments that are like, he's never gonna marry you, leave him,
Oh
And
my
it's like, we don't know anything about this guy, like anything.
god. Get out now.
And it's like, maybe that's the case, but maybe it's not. Like, we don't know. And I think we're
Oh,
just so
so
quick to
ridiculous.
like, there's all this like, people really are judgmental on wedding timelines. It's like, you do it
Yes.
too soon, you've rushed in,
Yeah.
you haven't thought about anything.
Yes.
If it's too late,
Yes.
what's the holdup? What's wrong?
Yes.
Do they not really like you? Or are they just stringing you on for years?
Yeah, exactly. And then just on a similar note, let's talk about patterns because there are patterns that you saw in the way that you dated.
Yeah.
And many of us have this are disillusioned to think that a relationship will solve those
Oh,
patterns.
yeah.
What are some patterns or a pattern that is from your dating life that has carried into your marriage?
Oh my God. Anxiety. And I think
Ugh.
it's
Mm.
anxiety with the text. It never goes away. And now
Oh.
this is like the underlying is different because back in the day it was like, oh, they're not texting me. Are they like, they never want to see me again. It was like more me centered. What's wrong with
Mhm.
me? Because they're not texting and want to go out. Now it's like, oh my God, he hasn't texted. Is he okay?
Is he
Something
okay? Is he dead? Yeah.
like
Yeah.
those fears start to come in. I'm not like, oh, he's
Mm.
not interesting. He's not texting that. I'm not worried about
He doesn't
that.
wanna be in this
Yeah,
marriage
like I'm
anymore.
not worried about that. But I'm just like, oh my God, that's like when the tracker comes in, right? It's like the
Uh-huh.
safety piece. I think that has like amplified for me now that there's like more at stakes.
Oh, interesting. So still anxiety. It's still
Yeah.
showing up in the same way, it's just for a different
It's like when
reason.
my mom, like, I don't respond to her texts and she like
Yeah,
freaks
yeah,
out.
yeah.
It's
Now
like,
you
is
get it.
she
Yeah.
okay? And I'm like, I get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And then, of course, we're gonna address the elephant in the room with anybody who just got married is the kids question.
Mm.
Always, right?
Hmm.
It's like people are like, "When are you gonna have kids next?
Yeah.
What's next for you guys? What's happening there?" What do you wanna tell us? What do you wanna tell our audience?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 42, so I'll put that out there. Like, we're not getting any younger.
So you're young. Yes, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, the window is coming if we wanna do it, and
Mhm.
I think for both of us, we want to try. We could like, I think it's been something for years that I haven't been oh, I'm like, this is the part I struggle with all the time because 'cause I'm like, still don't feel ready, and a lot of my friends
Mhm.
are like, You're never gonna feel ready, you just need to do it." You literally need to
Mhm.
do it, and you have 9 months to adapt. It's not like you have the baby and that like you get pregnant and
Yeah.
have the baby like the next day. So I think for me, I have all these like thoughts swarming. And I think this honestly, this was a big part of the like post wedding fallout is
Mhm.
that I was like, oh, okay, now I have to think about kids. Now we need a bigger
Mm.
place to live and job that like supports things like, like that, all this
Mhm.
like pressure started to like cook for me and it all like intertwines together. But I don't know, after talking to one of my friends, she's like, I was like, oh, I'm going to need a bigger place. And then she had a baby and she's like, it works. We made it
It
work.
works.
She's
Yeah.
like, you don't need all the stuff. You don't need all the thing.
You
And like,
don't.
it can be more like aggressively. Like, you don't need to figure
Yeah.
it out all immediately. So, in that, I think giving it, or we're in the new year. So, TBD on timing exactly. But also, like, I don't know what will happen. The reality is, I'm 42. It might not happen. Or we might
Yeah.
have to go to plan B/A, which is frozen eggs. I don't know what our
Mhm.
journey will be, but we are also looking to get a dog. That's another
Yeah.
thing. A lot of my friends were like, "Don't get a dog if you're gonna have a kid."
Yeah.
But then one of my friends was like, Do it because it's a lot of pressure, like to try for kids. And
Mhm.
if you have something else that's kind of like occupying your time, it like diverts the pressure a little. And also, like, you don't know when it will happen. And even if it
Mhm.
happens immediately, you have 9 months. It's not like you're gonna give birth the next day.
I'm giggling internally so hard right now because you talk about, having a kid and you have 9 months and it's a progression. When you get a dog, it's the
I
next
know,
day.
I know.
It's immediate.
I know, I know, and I'm, like, kinda so this is the thing with all of this, I'm terrified for a dog and a kid, being
Yes, that's
transparent.
a lot.
It's not even, like, a lot. I mean, it's a lot together, but I feel like something that's nice about life is that I don't have dependents,
Mhm.
but at the same time, I know that's not, like, the life I, like, ultimately want, and
Right.
the answer shouldn't be, like, I just don't do it because I'm afraid that it's gonna be hard. It's like
Yeah.
everything worthwhile is hard. And over the years, I definitely have like I can see it now. I think like before I could not see having a kid. But like now I'm like, okay, I feel ready in many ways. There's many ways I don't feel
Mhm.
ready, but there's other ways I do. So yeah, I'm trying to just like see what happens. But this is gonna be the time.
I'm in the process of redoing my bathroom, and so I've been getting quotes from all these different contractors, and, believe it or not, a woman showed up the other day. It's always been like these men that show up, they're like, "Ugh, I can do this, I can demolish whatever." This woman shows up, and she owns this business, and she's, like, having this conversation with me, and I was like, "How do you project manage this kind of project?" She goes, "Girl, I have 5 kids. My house is immaculate by 8 o'clock because I just know step by step what to do to get all my kids in bed." And she said, "The universe will not give you what you can't handle." And I was
Mm,
like, "Ah, I love that line."
I
And she's
love
like,
that.
you just do it, like it wouldn't give you what you can't handle." So I feel similarly about kids and anything in life, and especially what you're going through is like you're going to be fine because you're meant to be given whatever this responsibility could be.
Yeah, I'm trying to take that attitude too of like if for some reason we can't have kids, like
Right.
we're
Yep.
meant like like I think that life can be very fulfilling for both. So I
Mhm.
don't think like that having kids is the only way to have a fulfilling life. It's certainly a way and there's a lot of beauty in raising a family and having that connection and love. But I if we can't for some reason, like there's other parts of life, our relationship that will be fulfilling in a different way.
Yes. I'm going to leave everybody with the same question that you left me
Mm.
with, which is what would be your word for this year?
Ooh, my word for this year. Um Confidence.
Mm.
I think just like a couple ways. Like I think just getting more like my mojo back in general of
Aw,
just
you can have my mojo.
yeah, I think like in general in terms of like professional life and there's some areas that I would like just physically I think like was starting to do more of before the wedding, I was more on like running again and doing things that made me feel better. So just like
Mhm.
keeping that up. And then confidence that like things will work out the way they're meant to work out because there's a lot of stuff up in the air.
Mhm. Love that. And any parting advice for anybody struggling at
Yeah.
the beginning of this year in dating?
That's what I thought you were going to ask as the final question. I was like,
Well, that's
ready.
the final
I know. Okay.
question.
I love it. So I feel like I give this one a lot, but I'm going to say it because it just still rings true is trust in your timing.
Mhm.
Because I do think things work out when they're supposed to and take that from someone that always was trying to like push against the clock and like make things
Yes.
happen. Sometimes you do need that extra time. Like I think looking back now in retrospect, I'm so glad the relationships that I was trying to make work in my like 20s and 30s like didn't.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that, like, it took that time to meet my partner. Sure, would it have been easier if we had met 10 years ago? We might not have this, like, biological clock factor, but at the same time, both of us weren't ready for each other then. And, like, you
Mhm.
needed that time. So, it's so easy to, like, get caught in, like, by 30, I should be doing this. By 40, I should be doing that. But the reality is, like, all of this is arbitrary to some degree. I mean, I'm not gonna
Yes.
ignore the biological clock. It's there, but there are other ways, there are other like solutions out there. And I think like just feeling like you're meant to be where you are, it feels like almost freeing in a way, because you're like,
Mhm.
I know it's going to happen. It's like, when is it going to happen? Not if it's going to happen.
Oh, so well put. And the knowing that it will happen when it's supposed to when it's supposed to happen, it's such a liberating thought is the really the basis for a lot of our book, How to Be Dateable, in case you haven't gotten your hands on a copy yet, because we talk about how there are certain things in your control and certain things out of your control. The timing is out of your control, but there are certain things you can be doing that's in your control. And you just proved, Julie, that you were able to take some of that into your own hands and work on yourself and evolving and growing yourself while knowing that the universe will deliver your partner when it's supposed to happen. And it did happen. So thank you for taking us through that journey and you know, get our book because I think we talk about a lot of these learnings in our book as well, How to Be Dateable. You can find that anywhere books are sold, or you can go to howtobedateable.com or Amazon where they're having a big sale. But you didn't hear that from us. That's a big secret. And then also, if you haven't yet, download our coaching app. It is AI powered, but it is trained by us. It is based on our best-selling course, Finding Your Person. And every day you are being handheld through a series of prompts and journaling and audio and just lots of really great questions for you to think through. And then there's this AI coach component where you can talk to it like we are talking to each other. It's like you're talking to us, but not really. But it is such a great way to just get your thoughts out there in the moment because we know how that can feel. Sometimes things can feel very urgent.
I still think it's one of the coolest things that we've ever worked on, because UA and I
Agreed.
both are on the app ourselves, and we get
Hmm.
different content based on the
We
information
do.
we've shared about what we're going through. And I love that.
Yes.
It's all content that
Yes.
we fed it, but it's different.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. All right. We're going to wrap up this episode.
Stay dateable.
Dateable.